H3 podcast is quite literally SNARK. I want to test this theory. I want to use my friend Ethan's friend ChatGPT. Define SNARK Reddit. These subreddits serve as forums for users to express frustration and provide commentary on the actions of content. The definition that we have so far, take this with a bucket of salt. It is ChatGPT. So the main thing that stands out to me here is that it raises questions about the boundaries between critique and harassment. That is what I think most accurately describes H3 podcast. Listen, the way that he talks about people is not just a critique about their character. Before the CPS thing, which I agree is deplorable, if it is a false report, if it wasn't like a pediatrician or a babysitter or something, even before that, remember the tirade he went off, he spun out on denims? That was really crossing the line between like, okay, is this guy, does he have a real problem, or is he just letting out frustration? This next clip, it shows exactly why I don't think that he's a progressive at all.
Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. And I think that it went a long way to showing just what an evil, hateful fucking... And I'll say, no, not go there.
Don't invalidate
Okay,
yourself.
let me do this.
He can't help himself, and his crew has to reel him in and say, think of something else to say. What was he going to say? Because what he sees as the better option is calling her a B word or a C word. And by the way, I just want to say, it doesn't matter if you actually say the word or not, the B word or the C word, you're still calling that person that thing. Ethan Klein, women's advocate, progressive, the fuck out of here.
You can think of much worse things to say about her that are totally acceptable.
Like the C word?
No, I'm not saying no.
Does he see that as like a better option than what he was about to say? Because that is pretty vile. That's a pretty vile thing to say, if I'm not mistaken. And by that metric, I would say that this is a SNARK podcast.
Stupid.
She's a B and she's a C. Good.
I tried.
That's better, right?
So right here, he's talking about Adam McIntyre, who, might I add, is friends with Olivia, which must suck for Olivia, but it's hard to feel bad. She's still standing by Ethan, even while he's going on this revenge tour. He then goes into saying that he really wants to make a joke, comedian Ethan Klein, but feels that maybe it's too offensive.
People are like, are you sure you want to be talking about her kids? It's all on Twitter. He goes, it's true, so I don't give a fuck. Now he's trying to ride her fucking... Ugh, I had such a funny joke, but I shouldn't say it. I'll write it in Discord. Don't read this one, Olivia.
I really want, say the joke. Tell the class what the joke was. What were you about to say?
Popped in my head.
Yeah, no, God, no. That's an obvious no, massive no.
Oh my God. It was just an image that popped in my head.
All right, let's move on.
I don't know what the joke was, right, obviously. But I can only imagine that if it was too bad to say on the show where he did a full pile, too offensive for that, what could it have been? How is this not SNARK? I mean, please. And I'm only in the first, 15 minutes?
I fear, gasp. Again, this is like straight up neo-Nazi types of shit. They don't know that this just went straight from the hands of the neo-Nazis straight into the hands of the snarkers.
Man, like literally, what are you saying? I don't even get the point. You keep on trying to equate snarkers or subreddits or just Redditors in general to anti-Semitic neo-Nazis. What are you talking about? It's just further invalidating you.
So anyway, I responded. I was playing poker, actually, and I saw this punk ass needs to be put in his place. I said, shut your mouth. You're a terrible person, a complete phony. You called Trisha's daughter the spawn of Satan. Now you've promoted SNARK that calls CPS. You have the convictions of a wet noodle. You will do and say anything for clout. You are nothing more than a deranged snarkanelle, pathetic little worm. Hila's a goddess, and you are a giant loser. Girl, bye.
Imagine this was posted from anybody else. Imagine it was just a random snarker. It fits. Am I crazy? He stopped his poker match to go and post this. Remove it from Ethan for a second. That's exactly what it sounds like. Just as angry seethe. How can you be so tone deaf to not realize that you're engaging in the same exact behavior that you're accusing snarkers of? This is just so full of hate, so full of vitriol, false equivalencies, misrepresenting things, taking things out of context. That's exactly what you're doing.
Also, let's stop the stupid game. She never threatened you, loser. She said disappear from the internet, bro. You're such a snarker. It's pathetic. You really are just such a pathetic worm, man.
Do you see the language that he uses? It is just like an angry internet person. Use the button, Ethan. You need to use the button. Do you really wonder why people are dropping from your friend circle? Even people who have legitimate qualms with people. You know what they do for the most part? People who have like an actual PR team maybe, or just like some level of emotional intelligence, they just stop. They just stop engaging. In another video, you said, oh, it's so unfair to my employees that you guys have to go through this. You're putting them through that. You need to just stop. We don't have to hear you spinning out on random women.
You want to know what integrity looks like? Don't blink.
Even though he's making this face, why I know that this is not a joke. In the last podcast, with a straight face, Everybody in this room is a good person. End of story. You're judged on how good you are as a person by the people around you. You don't just get to say, I'm a good person. End of story. End of conversation. In this next clip, which is the last one I'm gonna do, he talks about a person who posted a video, which admittedly they said some bad things in the video. However, Ethan starts making fun of their appearance and saying, you know, I hope you get sober, without knowing anything about this person. It's really just Mean Girls snark behavior.
These people are Hassan fans. Every time I see a video with them, I'm like, no shot. It's like the blue-haired meme come to real life. I mean,
this is a progressive making fun of how people look, making fun of blue hair. This is why I'm telling you he's going to turn right-wing. I promise you. He's already aligning himself with right-wing creators because that's who's going to welcome him. Once he gets kicked out of the left because of his harmful views, he's going to go straight to the right.
Here, listen to this. You guys are gonna love this.
Why don't you tell your wife too? She should be taking care of your kids too. But they're investigating you, homie, and you're posting on Instagram.
That's
Okay.
Oh, I hope his kids
Help
get
me
taken
out.
away from him.
Like I said, that's a weird thing. That's weird. That you shouldn't wish that on anybody.
Giardia is so common.
That's what the quartering says in his video.
Dog, if you want to come off as a progressive, stop referencing the quartering. Just don't talk about the quartering anymore. I mean, he said in a video before, oh, I've been feeling disillusioned with the left. Okay, dude. Yeah, I wonder why. It's not because the left is just a bad place. There's bad people in it. But the left is having a problem with you because you're doing bad things.
Anyway, there all of a sudden we visit the the animal farm.
What do you mean by animal farm, man? What are you saying? I mean, I gotta keep on saying this. Do you really wonder why people are not happy with you? Why people are dropping you? What do you mean animal farm? Why are you making fun of somebody's hair, the color of their hair? Like, that's literally a right-wing MAGA thing to do.
I wish sobriety to this person, though. I know what it's hard and it's
We
hard,
don't know
you
what's going on.
What does that mean? Why are you judging so many people based off of their appearance, but you get mad when people judge you based off of your appearance? Why is that? And he thought that was funny. And I'm not saying it's not funny because it's offensive. I do think it is offensive and a bad, harmful thing to say. Comparing them to an animal farm, what does that mean? And then Mr. Free Speech himself.
She's been such a nasty, pathetic, lying, such a horrible, disgusting.
Say it. I know what you want to say. Is it the C word or the B word?
It's undeniable. So much to the fact that she not only she not responded to this, she deleted all of her videos on her Clips channel because I've been talking about suing her and stuff.
Congrats, Ethan. You got somebody to delete their videos at threat of a lawsuit from something that you claim is defamation, but it never happened. There was a TTS played. She said bad things about you. You disagree on their truth, and you threatened a lawsuit, and she deleted her videos. Good job. What did you fight for when you first started your channel? This is shameful. You're shameful. Anyway, this is why I think H3 is snark. Point blank, period.